everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I am planning with this two Lil Bees kit Summer Storm. It is in rose gold foil and I swear that this scene is from Disneyland. Somebody needs to help me with this. I feel like it definitely is, but really love the blues, greens, and yellows in this kit. It's also rose gold foil, which I haven't had enough of this summer, so super excited to plan with it. And yeah, let's get into it. So this has been a very busy week. I was moving, so it was tiring, but I did get movers, which is, something I promised myself after my last move, that I was just gonna get movers because it's expensive, but it also is just like saves peace of mind for me, and it's just a lot less stress. I also have a hernia, so I definitely shouldn't be moving anything, although technically I do lift weights, so there's a little bit of a contradiction there, but I feel like it's just easier if I have movers. So I did get movers, so that was, I think, less stressful than if I tried to move myself. But yeah, I feel like whenever I have to take a day or two off work, which I did to move, it's like catching up is just brutal, and I planned the spread ahead of time because I knew that I wouldn't be able to do much planning like while I was packing stuff up to move. I was able to kind of pre-film a couple of things. What's been going on lately? I am ready for fall. I don't know about y'all, but I've been saying, that I'm not a hot weather person, and I'm for sure not, and we're getting into the hottest part of the year, and I'm ready for fall. I have a bunch of fall kits, as y'all saw in my last video, and I am like, when is it going to be cool? I'm ready to hold a cup of something warm in the morning and just with both hands in traditional stereotypical style just go, I feel like there's nothing nicer than a cup of hot coffee in the morning. I like my coffee black and plain, no sugar, no cream or anything, and just, looking out the window and going, and just, I don't know. So something else, speaking of mornings, I have gotten into doing a morning and evening routine, and it's been really, really helpful. So my morning routine is to get breakfast. So that could be, Starbucks, that could be breakfast at home, followed by a glass of water. And then I do two things. I journal in this journal that my coach recommended to me called the Journal of Radical Permission. It's basically a book. It was written by one of the authors wrote The Body Is Not an Apology, which I haven't read, but it's basically about understanding yourself and figuring out like what limitations you're putting on yourself and how to remove them, or how to address them, I guess, at least, maybe not removing them, and how you can be more gentle with yourself, less critical. I'm a person that's very much like, I should do this, I shouldn't do that, and am very rules oriented, especially for myself. So it's, hard for me to be like, it's okay if you didn't get this done, or it's okay if, you were only able to make it 80% of the way. I'm like, you have to be perfect. I feel like I manage a pretty big team. There's 11 folks on my team. And I'm like, you are not the perfect manager. Like, you suck at this, and I can be very critical. So the Journal of Radical Permission basically has these daily prompts that help you kind of focus your thoughts around, things that may, like, beliefs that may be holding you back, and the way I'm describing it makes it sound kind of cultish, but I promise that it's not. So like a prompt was, I think one of the recent prompts was like grace. What can I give myself grace for? And it's a little bit like the way these are very short prompts, so it's kind of like you can interpret it however you want. And the way I interpreted that was, what am I not giving myself, permission or latitude for? Latitude, I think, is the better word. Like, when am I saying, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that? I am a big, I have to get all my chores out of the way before I have any kind of fun. I have to do everything I'm supposed to do before I do anything that I want to do. And half the time, I do all the things I'm supposed to do, and then I'm too tired to do anything I really want to do, and I end up just vegging. So I was thinking about that as I was journaling in the grace part. I think it's supposed to be 30 days. I'm not exactly sure how long it is because I just didn't look through the end, but I basically journal in there every morning. And after I'm done journaling, then I move on to, I've been doing this Headspace course called Managing Stress. And the idea is that there's a set of daily exercises that you do, and there's little modules, kind of little learning modules that you do, and it's supposed to help you manage your stress. Things are feeling super stressful at work and between prepping to move. So I was like, maybe it would be a good idea to do this. And so the course, without giving too much away, it's they do some meditation. There's some deep, I think it always starts with deep breathing. It starts, I think, with 5 or 6 deep breaths. So there's an animation that's take a deep breath in. If you have the Apple Watch, meditation or deep breathing thing, it's similar to that, where the little thing expands when you're supposed to be taking a deep breath in, and then contracts when you're supposed to be blowing it out. Then there's a little kind of 2-minute lecture is the wrong word, but it's a little discussion by the lead of this program, whose name is Kasanga. And he talks about here's, how stress shows up in the body, and, don't judge yourself if you're not able to get meditation perfectly the first time. And so I usually do the first half of that. There's, I think, about 5 activities each day. It always ends with a stretch and gratitude, but the first 2 are these deep breathing, and then the little stress module lesson thing, then is the meditation, then the stretch, and the gratitude. So I usually do the first 2 or 3. Sometimes I save the meditation for the evening routine, and I give myself 30 minutes every day to do all these things, do the journaling and the Headspace course. And it's actually really, really helping in terms of just not feeling when I wake up, it's boom, work. Working from home, it's hard to draw those boundaries between I'm working and I'm not working, and or I'm on the clock and I'm not on the clock. And so having this morning routine is really helping me kind of break up this is my time, this is work time. It's also, so the kind of tricky thing, I think, is that I have to wake up earlier to make sure that I have these 30 minutes uninterrupted, which is challenging. Normally, I'd wake up, get breakfast, boom, work, but I've got to carve out this 30 minutes, which is for me, and it's not for work. So I think it's worth it. It's just waking up the extra half hour early to make sure that I can fit this in is something I'm still figuring out. So that's my morning routine. So evening routine is kind of a little bit different. I usually will do the meditation from the Headspace or the stretch, depending on which one I stopped at in the morning. And then I play these New York Times games. So they're free on the New York Times app. I think you have to have I don't think you have to have an account, actually. You can use it without the app. But I'm really into word games, and I think they're really funny. So Wordle, I'll usually play. There's also a game called Spelling Bee that I've gotten into in a bad way. I'm ever since I found out some of the stats around tracking your success, I'm super into it. I probably need to pull it back before I make it a competitive thing. But so Spelling Bee, there's also this game called Letterbox, where you try to create a word by drawing letters across the box. That's really fun. So I will play those games as a wind down from work. And then before bed, it's the stretch and gratitude. But I usually try, when I'm done with work, I turn off my Slack notifications, and it's like, it's my time. I'm not looking at email. I'm not doing anything related to work, which is, it's hard. I feel like it's hard for me to turn my brain off from work. Even doing these routines, it's like randomly I will be, watching TV or something, and then suddenly my brain is like, did you do this thing at work? And I'm like, get away, work thoughts, In the meditation kind of parts of the managing stress course, they're like, think of your thoughts as you're sitting by the road and there are cars driving by. And so you don't have to get in the car. You can just let it pass by. And I have trouble with that because like a work thought in a car passes by and I'm like, oh yeah, crap, did I forget to do that? Should I write that down? What if I don't remember, and before I know it, I'm in the car, so to speak, about the thoughts. So that's challenging. I will say though, so far with these morning and evening routines, what I've noticed is really being able to call on these meditation practices at night when I want to wind down and anytime when I'm feeling stress. So there's a practice called noting, which is when you kind of count your breaths from 1 to 10. It's like a breathe in is 1, breathe out is 2. And you just kind of notice how your body feels. And that's the one I kind of draw on most frequently when I'm getting ready to go to bed or there's something stressful going on through the day, and it actually helps. And so some background on me is like, I, have dabbled in meditation here or there, but there was a tiny part of me that was like, this really doesn't work. People are fooling them. Like, how can just breathing make you feel like, what about all these, aren't you stressed? And truly it gets me, maybe it's just because I've been practicing for, a few weeks. I do feel like in my body, it's so much calmer, and a thing that kind of shows me that it's working is that, normally I would wake up in the middle of the night, to use a bathroom or something like that and really struggle to fall back asleep. And when I do these like noting exercises or like the breathing, it's almost like nothing for me to fall back asleep. Like that, and that is huge for me as someone who struggles with insomnia pretty bad. It's something I've noticed kind of immediately. So yeah, those are my morning and evening routines, and I might change some things up, but so far that's, I'm just trying this out. Hope y'all enjoyed the spread and some chat about, my life and what I do to de-stress, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.